dispatcher. Do you copy?
Roger that, dispatcher. I read you. Over.
Start up and get ready to move. Over.
Gotcha, dispatcher. We're ready to move. Out.
This is the dispatcher. You're cleared outbound. Over.
Roger. Cleared to the outbound. Here we go. Out.
Tower, my fuel is just about empty. Am I cleared to the outbound? Over.
Roger. Your track is clear. Dispatcher, over.
Acknowledged. I've got clear boards. Out.
This is the dispatcher. Go to medium speed. Over.
Copy that. Increasing to medium speed. Out. Dispatcher, how's the track look? Am I clear? Over. Roger that. Show clear track. Dispatcher, we're ready. Is it okay to pull? Over.
Negative. Hold your position. Over.
Copy that. Standing by. Out. Tower, can we move yet? Over.
Roger that. Take the green. Over.
Clear signal. Very good. Out. Thank you, sir. Approaching now. Out. Going to sign the register book, dispatcher. Out.
Alright, I just wanted to show you guys real quick that there's actually a bug with the non-power control unit F40PHs, or I don't know for a fact if it's just with the non-power control units, but there is a bug with the sound card in this locomotive. Now, as you might know, the typical horn sound sounds like this. And it's got that cool little echo reverberation sound as well. But if I do activate sequence control with holding the aux1 key, have a listen. As you can see, during sequence control mode, you have a completely different horn sound. You get that really, really crappy, shrill sounding horn that you'd find in other Lionel locomotives like the Norfolk Southern Heritage Unit SD70 and think in general with their SD70 Aces, and they had them in their SD40-Us. But yeah, it's got a completely different horn sound during when you activate sequence control. So let me do that one more time again to show you guys. Yeah, I have no idea why that's there. I think they just forgot to get rid of it, to be honest, but what can you do? It doesn't happen most of the time. It's not too big of a deal. It won't stop me from using sequence control. The horn is still perfectly normal, like I'll show you here. I guess they probably just forgot to edit out the sequence control file to have the K5LA sound as well. So, yeah, it's kind of just a weird little thing that I found with this locomotive, but yeah.
Dispatcher, we're done for the day. Out.
But yeah, as you can see, it actually does function as its own locomotive. It doesn't have motors in it, so I can move it, and it'll be perfectly fine. But yeah, it's got the little thatch reader wheel, magnetic thatch reader wheel, on one of the wheel sets, so that's why it knows which direction it goes. In fact, let me show you guys real quick as well. Walk over to, oops, sorry, this side. This locomotive actually has a fully detailed gauge cluster. In fact, this is actually the one that's taken out of the gen sets, which is quite surprising. I mean, it looks pretty nice, although it's not positioned 100% accurately. It wouldn't look like this. It'd be more towards the right side of the engine here, but what can you do? It's there, and it looks pretty nice. They did a pretty good job overall with this locomotive, I'd have to say. Only problem I have is, well, up here at the front, for whatever reason, they still have these auxiliary cables right here on the front and back of the locomotive. Even though this is technically a non-power control unit, it doesn't actually have those. On the real live ones, it would just have the head and power cables. But yeah, those extra cables for multi-unit locomotive consists are not supposed to be there. But for whatever reason, they have them. I guess they just recycle them off the normal F40PH. But yeah, you have the kinematic pilots, which is pretty nice, actually. They work pretty well. And they look pretty nice. They stay straight for the most part, which is fantastic. But yeah, I really like this engine. And of course, you might be wondering how I even managed to find one of these. No, this is not the one that was on eBay for 600 bucks. No, I did not buy one of these. I found this just randomly looking on Nicholas Smith trains, and I found this thing for sale. The very last one they had. It just randomly popped up on their website, and I decided to pick it up because, yeah, I've been looking for one of these for a while. And glad I did, because this is a really nice model, actually. Really nicely done by Lionel. I definitely approve of this. And in fact, here's a fun little thing. Hold on, I'll show you another funny thing with this locomotive as well, BRB. Alright, but before I exactly show you what I found weird with the Lionel F40PH, I'm going to give you a little bit of sort of context behind it. So here is my GE demonstrator ES44AC. Pretty typical sized locomotive and pretty typical sized box. Here's my head for comparison. It's a pretty big box. But here's the box for the F40PH. Quite a bit smaller. In fact, it almost looks like a fake box in a way, but to prove it to you, here's the F40PH on top of the box. It fits pretty much perfectly within the confines, but it's still kind of weird that the fact that, well, as you can see here, it's shorter than a typical sized ES44AC, but then again, this locomotive is not really that big. I think it's about 15 to 16 inches long, if I recall correctly. But yeah, it probably doesn't really need all that much padding because it's not super heavy and it's not super big. So kind of makes sense that that's the case. I don't know if this is just for the non-power control unit that the box looks like this, but it could also be for the rest of the F40PHs, which frankly it kind of makes sense, because why would they just make one particular box for the non-power control unit and then have this a different box for all the rest of the F40PHs? So that's what I'm thinking, that this is just for all the F40PHs, but still looks weird that the box is this small. It's kind of surprising just how small it is. But yeah, I'm gonna end the video off here. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Catch you guys in the next one.